Global Business Process Management Director at Schneider Electric, Dr. Jayachith I.
People also expect leaders to have all the answers. That's not the reality. It's about creating that space to emerge answers, right?
You are currently leading global business process management at Schneider Electric. Multi-year transformation, end-to-end frameworks, governance models, KPIs, automation, and process architecture.
The alignment between the aspirations and accountability. You have to see whether the leaders speak the same language.
Hey everyone, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi, and today we have got a conversation you will genuinely want to stay for. Because today's guest is the kind of leader who can walk into a room full of chaos, different regions, different priorities, different systems, and calmly say, okay, let's map the process, fix the experience, and make it scalable. Joining me is Dr. Jayachith I. Global Business Process Management Director at Schneider Electric, based in Bengaluru. Dr. Jay isn't just a transformation leader, he is the person organizations lean on when they want transformation that actually sticks. Enterprise process architecture, governance, digital enablement, customer centricity, and measurable business outcomes. He is also an executive doctorate in business administration, an MBA, an IIM Calcutta SMP's alumnus, and a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. So yes, we are going to talk about strategy, leadership, and execution, but in a way that feels real, useful, and very take this back to your workplace tomorrow. Dr. Jay, I'm so pumped to have you on the show today. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you, Sunny.
Dr. Jay, take us back to your early career. What's something that surprised you about leadership? Not the job title, not the tasks, but the reality of leading people and outcomes. Something you did not expect when you first stepped in. And I ask you this because your career has moved across various departments and now global enterprise BPM. And that kind of evolution usually changes the way you define leadership. So yes, please share your journey with us.
Yeah. So what surprised me about leadership is, probably I will put into a few elements in terms of my perspective on that. I think leadership is not about the visibility or responsibility. I think it's about the emotional bandwidth. People don't follow your title. People follow your energy. They always look at how you behave when things go wrong, not how you respond when things are smooth. So that's very important. And at the same time, people also expect leaders to have all the answers. That's not the reality. It's about creating that space to emerge answers, right? So then usually you will see that performance will shift, trust will develop and executions becomes easier. It's all about creating such a space for individuals to perform better. And third thing I would see is about, resistance to change. It's not about resistance to change. It's about the uncertainty and invisibility part people fear. If you are not heard or if you are invisible, people feel threatened. And even the simplest of task will be challengeful. But on the other side, you are heard and you are seen, even the disruptive things becomes easier. So that's how I see, and these are some of the facts that have surprised me when I put my foot into leadership, as and learning the hard way every day.
Dr. Jay, the way you describe navigating people and outcomes makes it feel grounded and human. And it highlights the gap between assumptions and real world challenges. Listeners can really connect with that journey.
Sure.
All right. So, what a great start to this conversation. Moving ahead into segment two, the engine room where transformation becomes real. So, You are currently leading global business process management at Schneider Electric. Multi-year transformation, end-to-end frameworks, governance models, KPIs, automation, and process architecture. Now, that's not improvement work, that's enterprise muscle building. So I want to make this segment very practical and very, very you. So let me ask you, when you walk into a global transformation, multiple geographies, multiple business units, what's the first tell that the organization is truly ready versus just excited about the transformation?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I've been in the transformation space for the last 4 5 years. If you want to really see your organization is ready to take up transformation, it's all about the alignment between the aspirations and accountability. You have to see whether the leaders speak the same language, and leaders are ready to disrupt their own scorecards before changing the organization. That's a very important element. If you look at cross-functional leaders, cross-functional domains, supply chain, sales, marketing, R&D, are they having the same problem? And most importantly, the toughest talks happens at the early stage, not later. So leaders should align which legacy process must die, uh, how the duplicates should be, brought together. These are some of the things what you have to discuss and find the hard truth before really stepping into the transformation journey. And also, transformation is not seen as a change police. That is embedded in the business. It's a core part of your strategy. You need to make sure that the cross-functional leaders speak same language and you are ready to move ahead. So transformation is today's space. It's about disruptive digital. You're looking the way forward for years ahead, how you want the business, how you want to simplify your business with the customers, how we want you to address the challenges in a kind of a metrics organization where the global organization evolve over the time organically or inorganically. These are some of the things what you have to really look at and pay attention to.
Interesting. And that distinction between readiness and excitement really comes through. It's clear that surface energy can be misleading. And you are showing that how real preparation is about behavior and alignment, not just presentations.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so moving forward, you have led transformation across big mega processes: quote to cash, plan to fulfill, plan to order, finance for finance, idea to offer, acquire to grow, issue to prevention, which is basically the full business bloodstream. So if I put you in a boardroom and said, Mr. Jai, we can only fix one thing first to unlock momentum across the enterprise, what would you pick? And how would you defend that choice to a skeptical executive team?
Interesting. This is if I really want to understand this question written in the broader way, being in the transformation space, and worked across mega processes, I think one thing what I would look at is decision rights and governance. That's the hidden multiplier. That's where all the problems emerge. If you can have everything right, system, all the systems, processes in place, but still you fail, right? Process is not necessarily broke. The agreements are broken. If you don't have that alignment at the leadership level, people doesn't know who takes the decision on what enterprise principles and ground the decision is taken, then there is always a gap. So real the root cause, and always it is disguised as operational issues, right? So that's very important to understand. You can deploy AI, ERP, automation, but still things fail if you don't have proper decision rights and governance. Escalations grow, cycle times grow, escalation spike. So that's very important for you to have that, address that complexity in the beginning. And that's, I believe, in order to make sure that I convince the executive team, they know the root of the problem should be that approvals should be replaced with the decision rights. That's where the bottom line gets addressed. The people knows, the trust improves, and the collaboration between the mega process and the cross-functional teams improve. So I believe, yeah, decision rights and governance is key.
Rightly said, Dr. Jay, and you're showing how prioritization is as much about psychology and alignment as it is about process. And it's impressive how you make that ripple effect tangible for everyone listening.
Yeah, yeah. That's important, because I'm sharing my practical experience. I've been into it. I know what has gone through it. The larger organization, they uh, put a great vision, attach a vision, and story around transformation. But if you don't inside internally, if you don't have that alignment, otherwise, transformation will be seen as a more as a change police. It has to be embedded into the business and strategy to really drive forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so continuing the conversation, let's make this personal to your work. You help design and implement a new financial process framework and system architecture with compliance and internal controls. And you have driven digital enablement and automation. So, how do you balance two forces that usually fight each other? We need control, standardization, compliance. And on the other side, we need speed, agility, innovation. So, what's your method for making both sides feel protected, not threatened?
Yeah, I had enough exposure to all these elements, what you have highlighted, whether it was the defining the digital architects of finance framework, part of the global transformation, what we are driving. I don't believe controls slow down speed. It actually protects, right? And you should clearly know what should be controlled and from what should be executed. Risk, that's a core element, risk, and then the mechanism how really things work. I would probably classify these process elements to three buckets. One is non-negotiable. When I say non-negotiable, it's talk about the financial integrity, the compliance, audit trials, and then probably the second one is design aspect. Workflows, deployments, all those aspects, exception handling, which are flexible. And the third one is the innovation aspect, automation, AI. You know, so it's important that you understand, and the best way to go forward is standardize the core and modularize the edges. I would say 70 to 80% we can standardize, the rest can be modularized. So then you put a benchmark reference to that, how things works, how the processes follow, and it's more important to bring the people factor into it. That's really everything drives, right? The people are the core of any organization, and when transformations, it's all about change management as well. So we need to understand that aspect also when we really try and think of these and topics. When designing the digital architecture enterprise framework, you need to have the enterprise kind of KPIs. You should shift from silo KPIs to enterprise KPIs, and leaders, everyone should have a shared views.
Absolutely, Dr. Jayan. The tension you described is so familiar in complex organizations. It's fascinating how you are not just talking about processes, but also about people and trust. And hearing the real world fiction makes it feel authentic and grounded.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the reality, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so enough of dashboard talks, boardroom talks. Now let's switch gears and have a little fun with a rapid fire round. Quick
Okay.
answers, no overthinking. So are you ready
Okay.
for it?
Yeah, excited.
Okay. First question. If you could sit down for coffee with any leader, past or present, who would it be and why?
Oh, probably I will take a father of management and leadership, Peter F. Drucker. Uh, why? Because he addressed something most leaders struggle with, right? He had respect for people and performance. The whole purpose of organization exists is to convert human efforts into meaningful results. That's what he said. So I would love to have a coffee with Peter Drucker.
Great choice. What's one habit you have adopted that has had the biggest impact on your success?
I would say personal reflection. I would spend 5 minutes every day, morning 5 minutes, evening 5 minutes. It helps me understand, grounded and self-aware, brings personal growth and improves my decision making. That's been always the one habit or one practice what I had. over the years, and it really has helped me in person.
That's honest. If you weren't in transformation process leadership, what career do you think you would have pursued instead?
For sure, I would be a career strategist or a leadership coach. I love energy when unlocking the potential in the people.
Okay, incredible. What's a book or resource that shaped your leadership philosophy?
I would say Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last. Why? Because he spoke about creating a safer environment where all can feel safe, valued, and empowered. That's the reason. So I love that book.
Absolutely, must read. Okay, what does a perfect work-life balance look like to you realistically?
Yeah, perfect work-life balance. Always, I see it has to be flexible. It has to be balanced in a way that you have the space for your people and passion. At the same time, you give your energy to whatever role purpose you are in. So it's about respecting boundaries and clarifying priorities.
Great. So that is all for the rapid fire round. All right, moving on to the next segment, which is about ethics, governance, and boardroom trust. Uh, Dr. Jay, you have worked in environments where governance, internal controls, customer trust, and operational integrity aren't just ideals; they are operational necessities. So let's go there. Uh, when organizations face integrity shocks, financial misconducts, audit failures, control breakdowns, trust doesn't disappear overnight, but it does collapse fast when leaders freeze. So, if you were sitting at the boardroom table during a crisis like that, what are the first steps you would advocate for to restore trust internally and externally and prevent it from happening again?
Yeah, probably I would advocate a human-led response to start with. Somebody at the CEO level or the top management level take the accountability. So openness is very important. No hiding. Come and tell the actual statement where things gone wrong, and then of course that should be the kickstart, and then you put a proper preventive mechanism in place. So I would probably classify to start with stabilize things. Probably have an independent authority to look into to what went wrong and understand the root cause, and then make sure that your response mechanism is time bound, and intentionally communicate, over communicate. It's very important internally what you have to do. You have to have the trust of your employees, your stakeholders, and then restore and then make sure that you have a preventive mechanism in place. When I say preventive mechanism, you have the best of the learnings, and you address the root of the problem, and then define a strategy that the non-occurrence of what things have went wrong. That's very important. So you define that strategy together with the core team. That's very important. So classify, look at what has gone wrong, protect the whistleblowers, have a independent authority, look at the root cause analysis, take the learnings and deploy it, and win the trust of your employees and stakeholders.
Dr. Jay, the way you describe acting quickly, being transparent, and engaging the team makes it very real and tangible. And you are showing that leadership is about decisiveness as much as strategy.
Exactly. So, yeah, strategy, because normally we think that the challenges what leaders has to face are that, defining strategy, addressing complexity, deliverables. But it's important to realistically look at and understand the people aspect, stakeholder, and protect that entire ecosystem. That's what really matters.
Absolutely. All right. So as we wrap up, I would love to hear about your experience with Directors Institute. What motivated you to take that step, and what has it meant for you as a leader, navigating complexity, governance, and long-term value creation?
Yeah, Directors Institute choice was obviously not for a credential purpose. One, it was clearly from the purpose, conscious decision what I've taken. As I've completed my doctorate in corporate governance, ESG related topics, I did a study of 1 year plus program, and on a day-to-day basis, I know the kind of pressure the leaders face. I've been in the executive discussions of the groups, so it's important for me to a little bit deepen my understanding about the corporate governance dynamics, and I'm sure Director Institute is giving me that lens to understand the broader aspects of how corporate governance is managed globally. And, at the same time, if you look at the risks, compliance, those fiduciary responsibilities, it's giving a proper outlook to understand those bigger pictures. At the same time, I'm sure Director Institutes would help me to see the bigger picture, consider sustainability, long-term value protection. And where in today's world, complexity is the norm. The differentiator is going to be the good governance for sure.
Absolutely, and great to hear that, Dr. Jay. And let me tell you what an incredible conversation we had. You brought something rare, the ability to talk about transformation in a way that's not corporate theater, but truly practical. It's about people, it's about governance, customer outcomes, and execution. So thank you for sharing your insights, your stories, and your leadership philosophy with us today. It's been a real pleasure.
It's my pleasure too, Sunny. It was a great conversation. Thanks.
Thank you once again, Dr. Jay. And to all of you listening, thank you for tuning into another episode of FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. If you took even one idea from today about governance, transformation, or leading across complexity, share this episode with someone who is building change inside their organization right now. Until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and keep leading the way. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.